Hey guys, OFSREagle here, bringing you a brand new video today. Today I'm bringing you a different type of video. As most of you know, I've been grinding the free-for-all playlist. I'm really close to champ. I'm like 1995, Onyx 1995, somewhere there. So I've had a lot of good games, and a lot of the spawn mechanics just kind of clicked in my head. So I've had actually a lot of you ask for advice and help in free-for-all, and I feel like personally Regret is my best map. It is a lot easier to win if you're aware of the spawns and you're on top of Overshield. I think those are the two key things. So I chose Regret over Truth simply because I kind of want to put that out first. So I'm looking forward to bringing this to you. So what I have here is a game that I already played, so I'm reviewing it in theater, so I'll be able to go over it with you and show you some of my thoughts and just kind of show you just like the the cause and effect for spawns and stuff like that, and where to position yourself and things. So in this game I won. I got a lot of perfects. There was a few onyxes and a few diamonds in there, so you'll see some patterns that I'll point out. But yeah, so let's go and get this started. So hopefully you guys enjoy it, and so let's dive right into it. And so we're just going to stick with my perspective, and if we need to, kind of go out at things, right? So the first thing to notice right off the bat is where people spawn, right? And that's the biggest thing that will get you ahead in a free-for-all, at least the current free-for-all setting playlist, the HWC. You can see that we're pretty evenly distributed throughout the entirety of the map, right? For Truth, I have a different opening strat than I do for Regret. Right now we're focusing on Regret, and so the first thing I always do is I make a run for Overshield, okay? And for some reason, I don't do that in Truth, but for Regret, I really feel like everyone has the equal chance to get to Overshield the quickest. I mean, there's no one position has an edge over the other. You just have to know how to move, right? So from my perspective, what we're going to do is I immediately sprint, and you're going to see as I drop, I do a thrust slide. And in comparison to everyone else, no one else, I should, okay, so TG over here is the only, nope, he's top mid. So everyone else kind of ignored it, except this guy over here. But I get it pretty easily. But no matter where I spawn, I will do, I will dive for Overshield, right? So we'll even back it up a second, and I'll go through each position, even though where each person spawned. So right here, I take this route. I sprint, drop, thrust slide, jump, and then I immediately, I kind of take a quick look in front of me to see if anyone's up here. But if not, I will turn my back, because a lot of times I used to get back smacked a lot. So what you do is you grab it, and if you don't see anyone over here for a split second, you turn, so that way no one can back smack you and kill you right after you grab it. But if you do see someone here, do not turn around, because then they can back smack you after you grab it and turn around. So, and then the next one is, okay, so for evasive here, what you're going to want to do is sprint, drop, okay, and then you're going to do like a little slide. A thrust slide won't work here with the positioning. So you're going to drop, sprint, slide, jump, and thrust this way, and you'll land right on top of Overshield. So for this spawn, personally, I've never gotten this spawn actually. But for this position, it kind of still remains the same, where the moment you spawn, you start sprinting, and then you have to assess what's going on. So you would jump here, right? And then you should be able to sprint a tiny bit, do a thrust slide, jump, grab it, right? You don't want to be landing. The only time you want to land on top of Overshield is from that position up there. But otherwise, you want to be like flying over, literally over the Overshield, grabbing it and moving, because people are going to be nading this out. So if you can avoid like landing on this position, you want to kind of skim over it. God Eclipse has the same thing, where you sprint, and then you drop, thrust, jump. You'll float over, you'll fly over it, grab it, turn. Same thing. It's that same setup no matter what. Here is the exact same as I think the other guy. You sprint, and now this kind of has that same thing where you probably would have to end up landing on it. Probably can't do a full clean thrust slide, but so from right here, you see I go for it. Thrust slide the moment I hit the ground. I grab it. I don't land on it. I float over it, and then I immediately look. Thank you, I'm not streaming. But we have, okay, so you see me rotate here. I grab this kill. This guy's AFK. If they're AFK, you take the kill. And then notice where I immediately look. I'm looking down this tunnel, right? And that's because of spawns. This right here is a big spawn area. Okay, so you have to pay attention to the kill feed and also the timing of when you kill people, right? And a lot of times you can be killing the same guy over and over by paying attention to the spawns. So if you kind of sit in like the sweet spot, middle area, you can catch them off 2 different spawns. So we'll pay attention to this. So this guy, I see him here, take him out. Okay, I anticipate that push right here, and then you'll see that this really kind of caught me off, but I had 5 kills up. Next guy, so now look where I spawn. Okay, so there's that area right here that this is like a big hot zone, right? The first thing I do is I kind of see what's going on around me. I always pick up a secondary weapon if I can, even if I won't use it. I pay attention to the audio. I heard those gunfights. I look down here because that is a very common spawn spot. I heard a few shots, and that tells me there's some action going on, right? I turn around. I face this guy. When I spawn, you'll see a pattern I keep doing. I always keep checking those, like the doors. Even I do this on Truth as well, but every time I spawn, I kind of look towards the openings where, for example, someone could be sitting right here, right? And because I'm out of their line of sight, it's all right for me to spawn there, and then they could peek this way and catch me off spawn. So I always try to anticipate that. Even though no one was there, that's what I do. So then, also right here, this is a big spawn spot. Let's go ahead and go back to that. Alright, so you see that he just spawned beneath P1 or bottom nest, right? And so that's why from my perspective, that's why I look there, is because I know that's a very common spawn point. So you never know when you might turn and they'll spawn right there, and that's what happens here. That's why I get this guy. I don't think I win the gun battle, yeah. But you see, that's where I pay attention to, right? When I spawn, the first thing I do is I look towards that door. Someone's here, right here. I got taken out, right? Now I have to pay attention to, you can't see it in theater mode, but I will always, the moment I die, start looking around, and if it's close to like power up spawn time, I'll keep my eye on that as long as I can. Okay, you see I spawn in this tunnel area, all right? And you can see, guess what? This Plap guy has even though he's probably doesn't know it, but right there, these are the spawn traps that are very important. A lot of times people don't even know that it occurs, so they don't capitalize on it. But once you are aware of it, you can then, when you spawn, know how to get yourself out of that danger zone, and then you know how to try to keep people spawn trapped when you're able to come across it. I die here. I spawn again near the red tunnel, right? Now, I'm looking at the time right now, and it is very close to overshield time. I always pay attention to when I grab it, and I'm always ready at about 56 I try to be. I think I might have let it slip my brain at this point. Yep. It's up, and evasive got it. And that was bad on my part, because if you can control those power-ups and you can get in and out, it then gives you extra momentum to, especially if you're tied for lead, you can really widen that gap, that kill gap. Now right there, this is a very useful jump. The spring jump I did the spring jump glitch here, and that's because this area is really hard to survive in, because you can get people from P1, P2, bottom mid, the red tunnel, beneath car, even in here, right? So whenever I'm approaching this area, I always kind of try to set up a spring jump. That way, if I need to, I can escape just by doing the spring jump, and I clamber right there. And as you see, that's what helped me there. Okay. Now the reason why I start rotating here is because I knew that there was I heard gunshots coming from this direction. So the moment you kind of like lose, either if you don't get a kill or you get the kill, you still have to immediately be turning ready for the next one, right? So I spawn, okay, and I immediately start checking these angles, and that's when I see this guy, and I double back because I'm one shot, because I'm also looking at being careful that someone could have heard that gunfight and then try to nade out, and it's very easy for them to nade out this tunnel. So I want to get out of there, right? I hear this gunfight. I do my best to clean it up with that. And now notice right here I'm about to nade that because, like I said, with that spawn area being right there, it's very easy for them to jump and clamber to P2. So I always try to predict that. Even if I won't necessarily keep my reticle trained on that, I just put it there. I throw that nade. That way, if I can get hit markers, that'll tell me to immediately, swivel back around and pay attention. But if not, I can be looking back to another area. So now you see me paying attention to the tunnels. I hear the gunfights here, and I immediately push in. The reason why I charged right there is because I saw that this guy right here just died, and he was in a gunfight, so it means probably the other guy who he just lost against is weak and would have been an easy cleanup, as what happened, okay? And he thought the exact same thing right there. And you see, it's a lot of this paying attention to the gunfights and swooping in at the last minute, right? And you might do it to someone and successfully, and they might do it to you right after that successfully. Notice I spawn P1 on the other side. And notice I always go for this jump here if I can, because I don't like being in this spot for too long. And a lot of times, I don't think you'll see it right now. Actually, right there. So like TJ right there, he just spawned, right? And we would normally have an engagement right there. And I'm not personally as comfortable having an engagement right here at this P door. So I always go for this skill jump right here. I miss it there. But if it sends me right to this ledge where I can either sit on top of it. Normally I can do it without having to clamber. But that way, TJ, the guy in TJ's position right here, will always hear that if he spawns simultaneously there. But they don't, 9 times out of 10, they won't know to look for the player up here. So they'll hear a thrust and they'll immediately look through this area, but I will have already been up at the blue Eli up here. I will have already made it here, and especially if you don't hit the clamber, there's no visual cue for them to see. So they'll come through here looking for you, and because you're at the top, you can normally take a minute to breathe and probably get a back smack. So that's why I attempt that. And from my perspective here, we're in this gunfight, right? That nade really, I probably should have ducked a little bit more to the side, right? So now I'm weak. I grab and switch out that carbine, and now I heard a thrust to my in blue 2 when I was sitting just under there. So I immediately come around and I turn to see if I can catch him. Right? I see the gunfight beneath me, and I turn and I come in to clean it up. Get killed from the P door, and then we'll look at where I spawn again, and then look, see this engagement right here, right? So that's the first thing I look to is that. Now sometimes you'll catch someone running up there, so at that point I kind of go and then I throw a nade right up here. I think I try to. Okay, there we go. Now notice right there I threw a nade, right? I didn't get a kill, but the reason why you throw a nade, especially when you're like shooting someone in the back and they're rounding this corner, is because 9 times out of 10, there's nowhere for them to hide up there. So 9 times out of 10, they'll either sit right here or more likely even jump up and clamber, right? That way they can let their shields recharge and then shoot the guy or circle around. So I always anticipate that, and so as I'm coming around, I always nade this area out to catch them clambering. Now notice, I'm going to pay attention right to this tunnel again. And I naded out, anticipating a spawn there. I didn't know one spawned there, but that's what I'm paying attention to. Now notice, look at the time and look at my positioning, right? I don't sprint, I don't want to show up on radar. So I'm just here. I grab it and I run, and now I immediately take note, 7:51, that's my time. And now that I have it, I'm going to start being really aggressive. I'm going to start looking. I missed the guy beneath me. So what I do, now notice I purposely sprinted this direction, and now look what he's going to do. He's going to probably come around right now, and now that I'm walking, I'm off radar. So now he thinks I now sprinted this direction, right? So he's going to try to shoot me in the back, but now what happens is that I'm in his face, and he did not anticipate that. And so I do that a lot, especially in free-for-all, is I will purposely like sprint a direction so I show up on radar and then double back by walking so that they have a it's kind of like a bluff. They think I'm doing one thing when I do another. There's I probably couldn't see with the radar. So here, let's see. Yep, I'm checking the spawn again. Now notice, I just beat this guy, right? Now notice where I pay attention. I pay attention to here, right? Now let's look. And guess what? Evasive just spawned in that other area again. Okay. I heard Evasive behind me. I take him out. Now, I heard someone shoot from that corner, okay? So I start looking to see if he's pushing or if he's going back this direction, right? So I look, and I could see right there, the fact that I didn't see anyone there tells me immediately to look back this direction, and that's how I get this kill. Now, I'm going to go to this position to let my shields recharge, and then look where I turn again. I catch that guy off that spawn, and I get him right here. And then I'm going to let my shields recharge, and notice where I immediately look again. I'm trying to cut out that spawn. Nothing there, I believe. Let's see. I double back again. And because right there, TJ just spawned, and so I'm going to get that right here. Now, he's AFK for some reason. And then guess what? You can see, once you can find that sweet spot, you can keep swinging back and forth like a pendulum, catching this spawn and this spawn back and forth. So that's what happens here. I finally end up dying, but just doing that gave me a few kills in quick succession. Now I spawn, and then see this engagement that's about to happen, so I immediately do this, and that's the jump that I do, so I have this height advantage. Don't know why theater mode's being a little slow and glitchy, but I end up losing the fight, and look where I spawn again. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to check this corner, right? I double. Now, the reason why I always turn around like that is because you never know when someone's going to spawn blue 2 when you just spawn blue 1 or red 1, blue 1, and they're going to try to get you, in the back. So you always have to check your back, because you never know when someone may spawn a split second behind you. Okay, so a big thing I want to stress is having your reticle floating where the most likely players are going to be. And that P door spawn, I know, is even though he may not have just spawned there, that's a high traffic area. So always having your reticle when you come around a corner ready on that, and that's what allows you to be up in a gunfight like that. Now here I just heard a grenade, so I know someone's in blue in this blue area, right? I'm not sure why theater mode's being so sluggish. Anyway, 51. So I know the moment I spawn, I'm going to run for that OV. Okay, and so is Evasive. He got caught in a gunfight, and that's why right here, I grab it and I run. And then I immediately start turning, looking over here. Now, I had to address that guy behind me, so that gave God Eclipse a few shots on me. So I have to sit here, fight out this gunfight, and then watch what I start doing. I see that nade. I missed that jump there. So I have to turn around because I know I just made myself a target by doing a jump, making some noise, right? Yeah, this is a very bad situation for me to be in. I'm even though I was really low on shields, I'm lucky I got that perfect kill, right? So now what happens? Because that's what God Eclipse did a great job at, hearing a gunfight, coming in at the close to the last second to clean up kills, right? I spawn. The first thing I do is I start. I either want to, kind of have a low profile and not make a lot of noise and take it slowly, exit the spawn area, or I want to book it out of there. And here I elect to book it out of there. I see that gunfight below me. I see this. I clean it up. Now, I'm going to immediately jump, and I'm going to turn and look over here to predict that spawn right there. And so that's what, even though he outshot me there, that's why being aware of those spawns so that way you're not looking at the wrong area. I was sprinting. I should have been a little bit more patient and had my reticle ready, but the reason why he won is because I was sprinting, so he had the first shot on me. I spawn, I'm going to immediately turn and look up here. I don't see anything, I thrust out of there. Okay. Now I fly in at this corner for that viewpoint, and that's where this fight comes in. That's the thing. Sometimes, that's why I think this bottom area is so dangerous, because you can be so involved in a gunfight and get completely collapsed upon from behind you, right? And then when I spawn, I immediately... You also have to pay attention to where on the map, because sometimes you may spawn really close to where you died, and if you got the enemy weak, you might be able to come in and clean up your own killer. Okay. Now, here, I dropped way too soon for overshield. Because now in one shot, if anyone else dropped at this exact moment, they could clean me up, and then OV will have just spawned, just like that. And now guess what just came up? OV. So that is a mistake I made by dropping down too soon and being weak right there. Everyone's eyes is right there, and I'm one shot, so they'll clean me up. That's what happens here. I spawn, I keep my eyes over there. I know a lot of other people have their eyes on OV, so that's why I naded out. And then I start rotating around. I see a guy, I believe, above me. Yep, over here. So there's that sprint action that I did. Right, and then I anticipate him here. I heard the ground pound. I believe I die here. I saw that grenade. I have to turn and... So you could see right there just being really aggressive. You can see it's, I think right now there's some being a little bit more hesitant, waiting a few extra beats. That way you don't have to be so aggressive to clean up a kill. And the more aggressive you are, sometimes it works if you get the spawn cycles right. If you keep catching people off spawn or when they're weak, and you don't suffer much. But if you keep kind of going into a gunfight on the same level in terms of you both have similar shields, you're most likely going to be weak if you keep being aggressive and going into the next gunfight. And so your aggression can't last long because you keep getting in gunfights and then not surviving. And so I kind of think I get into that bad habit right there. And so now I spawn. Now right there, right there, I wanted to point out, I die. And so when I spawn, notice that the first thing I do is I saw him duck or fly back down to the lift area. So the first thing I do is I throw that nade, because a lot of times they fall down into that lift and come right back up. And so that's what happens with that nade, is he came up the lift and got hit by that nade. Now, I wasn't able to clean up the kill like I should have. And so I get this out simply because he had bad shots there. I should have died there, and then someone else comes and cleans me up. And I think at this point is when I really start trying to focus on having a good rotation. So right here you see the spawn. I go for that jump, I miss it, but I have to fight this guy anyway, and we get another trade out. It frustrates me when you keep just spawning and dying and getting a kill but trading out. You don't get to turn it into like a multi-kill or anything. So now notice right here, the spring jump glitch works, but you have to be very close to the edge. So you know, the first time I did it, I was way too far away. So that's what happened there. Now I saw someone right here gets the kill. A little bit better than mine. Right there, you saw the nade. I was going to anticipate this. There, that nade works. The first nade didn't work like it should have. So I looked there, nothing, right? Now I saw that guy. He's coming around the corner right here, right? Turn around. And the first thing I'm going to do is let my shields recharge. I hear this gunfight going on. I want to see if I can clean up a few kills. I get killed out again. Even though I die here, I just want to burn it. That way no one else can have it. Because I don't want the guy in second to grab it and be able to turn it into a lot of kills and put me at jeopardy of losing. I feel like there's a lot of people are being a lot more aggressive. So I don't want to sit in my spawn too long. Because I feel like it would just end up being, you know, just get easily collapsed and naded out. So I always want to rush out of there. But it's working a little bit, but not to the point that I would have liked. Okay, so see right there, what I'm trying to do is, I was seeing if he was going to peek back around. If he didn't, I had my eyes trained right there. He got killed out. I think the kill feed stopped working as well, but now that I hear this going on, I come up. And so I'm going to turn and see that spawn. I heard someone nading behind me, and so that's why I kind of turned and addressed this right here. Okay, I turn back around, and that's where I see this. Sitting, especially for P2, for free-for-all, you don't want to stay up there too long because it's so easy to get naded out, as what happened there. You know, for a brief moment like what happened, you have some angles, but if you're there too long, you just become a quick target, and everyone kind of spots you, right? So Kill is up here, he drops, and so when I spawn, I throw that nade, I get the kill, and that's basically the end of the game. That's it. So hopefully this was useful in showing you some different pointers with free-for-all on Regret, kind of where to look. Even I still have room to improve. I know for sure there are certain small little things I could have done better, but overall the main reason I won is because I knew where to look, and I can't control where I spawn, obviously, but the moment you spawn, you know what to do, and so that will give you a better advantage. Free-for-all is cleaning up kills, right? So the moment you turn around and you get shot from behind, you're normally at a disadvantage and someone else is going to clean you up. So if you're able to kind of anticipate that engagement, normally you're already at a advantage to where you can trade out or come out on top. And then it's a matter of having the decision to let your shields recharge, be a little patient, and then repeating that process and anticipating those spawns. Another good thing is to literally, if you feel like you're having some rough time in Regret and free-for-all, watch the game that you didn't do so well in and look at where people spawn at what times, and so that will give you the knowledge. So as you're running, you know where to look, and you can pay attention to the kill feed, and internally over time you'll get a little timer in your head, excuse me, that 6-second timer that will tell you, hey, about now's a good time to start looking towards that area, and a lot of times it works, as you saw. So hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, let me know down in the comments below, and soon I'm going to be doing the one for truth, and yeah, so if you haven't, please be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.